Welcome. The Ashoka Europe Fellowship Program is very excited to introduce you to Serena Borghero from Steelcase, who had a conversation with us about social innovation and the role of the corporate sector in advancing social change in our society. Steelcase has been an incredible partner to Ashoka for the past 3 years, supporting our initiatives to foster social change in Europe and meanwhile growing more and more as a changemaker company itself. So enjoy watching this interview.
Serena, what's the personal journey that brought you to be a strong ambassador for social change?
Yeah, I would say mostly two things. The first one is that by background and by education, I've always been traveling and living abroad for many years and a big part of my life. And that has always brought me to kind of look at what else is in the world and how are different people living and managing their lives. And so that led me, when I had to choose what to do at the university, to choose to do business administration because I actually wanted to rather be at the source of preventing inequalities to happen rather than trying to fix them once they were already there.
Steelcase is usually considered as a furniture company. Why did you decide to partner with Ashoka?
I would challenge the fact that we are a furniture company. We are actually a very human-centered company. What we study are people and how people interact and how their behavior is shaped by space, physical space and physical furniture. So we all know that our behavior change whether we are in a small tiny room or we are close to each other and standing up. And so how does space shape behavior is the bottom line of our human-centered design. So we study people and how people interact in workplaces, and we use those insights to design furniture and spaces. So if you take that approach, then our tagline is unlocking human promise. That's our vision. That's what we want to achieve in the world. That's what Steelcase stands for. So we want to unlock the potential of every individual and allow them to do their best. So it goes without saying that since our foundation more than 100 years ago, bringing equality in opportunities as being at the core of what the company stands for, which brings a very strong positioning and commitment towards all of the ESG aspects of the business. So we are equally strongly committed to our environmental performance and fighting climate change. We are strongly committed in reducing inequalities and fighting for equity in education, for example, which led us to a strong social impact commitment. And of course, the whole part around our governance. So when we met Ashoka, the conversation was very inspiring because we as a business are one actor in this landscape of change, but we're just one of the many. And there's no change one company or one organization can do alone. Ashoka provides us a partnership and a platform for scaling our impact across the globe, which is very unique. We share the vision with Ashoka of a future where there's no traditional business company that only cares about profit. There's no traditional thing as a non-profit where you give money to the non-profit to do something good in the world. No, the future is a hybrid model in which both, and I would say all of the stakeholders involved in change making are equally responsible, each of them for one part of together moving the needle on social impact and tackling big issues. So the future is hybrid, and Ashoka is one of the leading organizations able to allow company like us to scale our impact and to have access to thoughtful fellows that are selected across the globe and that actually have the same mission of scaling impact. Together, we can really facilitate this social change to happen, each of us with our own roles and learning from each other daily and constantly, and joining together the challenge for moving the needle.
Social change also happens through the power of individuals. What impact initiatives are you launching at Steelcase?
What I can tell is that I've learned a lot from our global social impact lead on that topic, who's Kim Dabbs, who has been pioneering social impact at Steelcase since many years. And what I've learned through her and what she has been able to achieve over the last years is that change happens is indeed, as you described, by empowering each and every individual. And this is a process that needs guidance and needs, curation. It's not like only telling people, hey, go for it. It's a delicate balance between providing them guidance, setting in place processes, and then empowering individuals within a shared vision to really go for it then. So what Kim has done over the last years, together with the larger team, and of course with the endorsement of our CEOs and the whole board, is to create all around the world teams of employees that are called Change Corp. Those Change Corp are, every employee can, apply and start a Change Corp. I've started one here in Amsterdam. There's one in Munich. There's in Kuala Lumpur, Hong Kong, Brazil, Mexico, North America, of course. So across the whole globe, we have Change Corp, which are founded and led by our employees. The employees are aware of our social impact strategy, our vision, the three goals that we have, and how we link them to the bigger 21 goals of the European Unions. And they can choose within that framework which actions put in place and how to run them. So we have initiatives with education in India going on. We have initiatives within our plants and the community we belong to in Mexico. We have initiatives around women in the workplace and dealing with helping young mothers and young parents in general in Munich through an Ashoka fellow, by the way. So it really depends on the let's say the country you're in, so the local culture, our presence there, and what the employees can bring. So it's a mix of those three things that nails down what the initiatives are in the specific locations. And then the Change Corp meet regularly. There are updates, and all of our efforts are then blended into the social impact report, which we release every year. It also includes all of the hours that we volunteer, because each employee at Steelcase is encouraged to volunteer within working hours. And all of these working hours are then counted and blended into the impact report. For example, here in the Netherlands, I volunteer with the Ministry on circular economy issues and more than this. This is just an example. So that's a bit how we are organized. It's a thin line between guiding and letting people be empowered, but it works, and it's a journey, as I mentioned, so we are learning and trying to do better every day.
What are some insights you have gained in your social innovation work?
I think one pivotal moment for us as an organization has been the collaboration with Ashoka, because we had three main objectives in our collaboration. The first one was, of course, to help Ashoka empowering its own fellows. The second one was to work together and showcase our partnership and, kind of show how we intend social impact moving forward. But the third and very important one was to have Ashoka helping us empowering employees and helping us scaling our impact across the globe. And within that framework, we had the amazing opportunity to attend some of the trainings that Ashoka organized and some of the key moments, like, for example, the European Partnership Gathering that took place 2 years ago, pre-COVID, in Barcelona, and then virtually later on in 2020, which was equally important and fascinating, because you have access to all the different stories of the fellows, and they are so inspiring and so energizing that you get out of that meetings really like you want to, crack the world and go for it. And then most recently, I had the pleasure to attend the Future of Business training module, which was a 6 weeks module organized by Ashoka on really trying to nail down what social entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship are about and how you can scale impact. And I must say that was really well done and very interesting for me to attend. It helped me mostly in two ways. First of all, it provides a very clear grid and framework for thinking about social entrepreneurship within a corporation or social entrepreneurship within social impact organization. So the ability to have the right language, the right process and framework for thinking about social impact is really helpful. And then secondly, it also offers the perfect framework for us to scale what we have learned within our Change Corp around the world. So I look very much forward our next step together, because sometimes you go to a training and then you attend and you say, oh, nice. So what? And now with this training, it's very nice because it was very nice. And we have now in place several action steps that will allow us to scale what we have learned and multiply the impact throughout all of our Change Corp groups across the world. So I think the future of business framework allow us to reduce the ramp up time of the new Change Corp by providing a clear framework of processes and steps. And it also allows us to report back on the impact that the different Change Corp group are having in a much more structured way, so that we can go back to leadership saying, hey, knowing what our business goals are, knowing what's the role of social impact within our company and what the vision is, this is how we have been making an impact on what matters. And this is how we have been measuring the impact we have been doing. So what we're going to do is that we're going to first report back to all the Change Corp group what we have. And then second, we are going to offer them the possibility to deep dive both on which processes we enhance and how do we report on impact, as well as how do we start and scale Change Corp across the globe.
Do businesses have a role in social change? Is there a business case for social innovation?
Yes, yes, there is. I'm a strong believer that there is definitely a business case for social impact and ESG as a broad topic. I think every CEOs has at the moment on their desk the question around purpose, whether we want to embrace a higher purpose and in which terms. It doesn't mean that every company needs to embrace higher purpose in the same way and to the same level, because we are all different. So a bank in France is different from Google in the Silicon Valley, which is different from a furniture company out of Michigan. It really depends on who the company is, what the vision is, and how they want to bring the business forward. But it is clear that all stakeholders, and not only the financial stakeholder, but all shareholders, so whether it's about your customer or your partners, your suppliers, your banking that are sponsoring you, the people buying your stocks if you're quoted at the stock exchange. All of these people ask companies to have a position when it comes to purpose, social impact, social practices, and the environment. And then what is really important is to stick to that purpose in a consistent and authentic way, because there's nothing worse for a business than saying that you stand for something or believe in something, whatever that is, and then don't fulfill that promise. This is destroying all the trust that has been built to among consumers in a second. So the most important thing is have an opinion, stick to that opinion, be consistent and authentic in every touch point with your stakeholders in delivering on that promise. So personally, I think that the pandemic has only accelerated the need for companies to take a stab at purpose and to commit to that, because the world needs to shift to a different, let's say, business model if we want to allow and have all of us, let's say, a long-term sustainable business model, where sustainable means that it lasts in the long term.
Serena, what does a world where everyone is a change maker means to you?
It's the future I hope for, and hopefully it's a very not so far future. But I think Ashoka and Steelcase both agree, and I personally am a strong believer that there is no future where businesses are profit and then there's the non-profit and then there's the government. You know, there's a very old-fashioned way to look at what's happening. I believe in a future where there's an hybrid model where both companies and businesses and individuals within companies are social entrepreneurs. So they run a business that need to make profit, but makes profit in a healthy, long-term, sustainable way, which is profitable both for the financial side of it and all of the stakeholders involved in the process. And on the other side, organizations that are mostly focusing on making an impact on social or environmental issues that really matter, but that are not based on the old model of getting money from the business and using that money to make an impact. The future is co-creating together solutions that are able to move the needle. And is within this co-creation future that I hope I can play a role. And it doesn't really matter to me whether that's a social entrepreneur role within a business or a social entrepreneur role within an organization that is non-profit or a foundation. The two roles are to me very similar and will be even more similar in the future. The one of the two I'll be playing, I don't mind, as long as I play a role and I'm able to make an impact. So that's my wish for my future.